My name is Rick Johnson, and for 27 years I have been driving a truck on the roads of the United States. I have always preferred the solitude of long, silent highways, those that cut through deserts, forests, and plains, where the only company is the lights on the dashboard and the constant hum of the engine. I have never been a man to believe in supernatural stories. I saw ghosts as things in movies or barroom conversations, but that rainy dawn, crossing the stretch known as the Whispering Highway, or as some old colleagues mockingly called it, the Whispering Highway, everything changed. My truck's radio picked up static until soft, trembling voices began to fill the cabin. It wasn't music, nor was it another truck driver communicating. It was laments, calls, female, childish voices whispering my name. And the more I tried to ignore them, the louder they became, as if something or someone was inside the truck with me. The road ran between two small towns in Washington state, not far from where the disappearances associated with Canada's notorious Highway of Tears began. For years, this road had served as an alternative route for experienced drivers, but it was avoided by the superstitious and by those who knew the stories. Dozens of women are said to have disappeared there, mostly Indigenous women and young hitchhikers. The police did little to investigate. The case went cold, but the truck drivers continued to tell stories. One said he had seen a woman standing on the shoulder of the road, but when he looked in the rearview mirror, she was gone. Another swore he had seen a girl sitting in the passenger seat without ever stopping the vehicle. I laughed about it all, until that night. It was raining like the sky was falling, visibility was minimal, and the only thing I could hear apart from the sound of the rain was that strange buzzing on the radio, until the whispers returned. "Rick, can you hear us?" said the voice, hoarse and melancholy. My hands trembled on the steering wheel. The radio, which had been turned off, was now flashing a greenish hue, as if it were powered by another energy. No matter how much I tried to turn it off, pull out wires, break the screen, the voice continued. And then one of the most common and harmless objects in the cabin, a teddy bear I had gotten from my daughter, turned its head toward me on its own, with a soft crack. It was impossible. I pulled the truck over to the shoulder, trying to catch my breath. When I turned on the high beams, I noticed that there were small, wet footprints crossing the road, heading toward the woods. The GPS went out. The radio started to hiss again, and in the background, I could hear a funeral chant, something between an indigenous lament and a hymn. I started having waking nightmares. With each blink, I saw the reflection of girls in the rearview mirror, some with their faces covered in mud, others with blank, expressionless eyes. They were mumbling words in languages I didn't understand, but there was pain in the intonation. I stopped at a rest stop, but it seemed deserted. There were no lights, no other trucks, no sign of life. I went inside to try to use the phone, but it was dusty, as if no one had been there for years. Then I saw the reflection of a woman behind me in the dirty bathroom mirror. When I turned around, there was no one there. But the mirror had a word written in fingerprints: "Come back." From that moment on, I knew I had crossed an invisible border between the world of the living and the lost. The disappearances began to happen again, this time with me there. A gas station attendant who had served me at a gas station disappeared the next day. The waitress who had served me coffee at a diner had abandoned everything and disappeared. Hastily scribbled notes were found in their homes. "They're coming." Even my friend Paul, who had offered to go through the police files with me, disappeared after sending one last voice message. "Rick, you need to stop. This isn't a game. There's something on the road, something old." I searched for clues, looking through old records at the Spokane Library, and found documents from a local Native American tribe that spoke of a land spirit trapped beneath the road. A ritual had been interrupted in the past. The souls were trapped and now they were seeking a guide. I was that guide. The voices began to ask for a ritual. I went to the woods near the road where the footprints had appeared. I took the teddy bear with me, an offering that, according to the records, symbolized the link between worlds. In the exact spot where the compass was spinning out of control, I buried the object and recited the names of the missing women that I had discovered in the records. The earth shook, Voices cried. A translucent silhouette of a woman appeared before me, murmuring, "Thank you." For a brief moment, everything was peaceful. I thought I had lifted the curse, but I was wrong. On the way home, I passed by the same highway. The radio, now supposedly destroyed, started working again, and the voices were louder than ever. But they weren't asking for help. They laughed, they shouted, they whispered things like, "Now it's your turn." My daughter no longer recognized me. My eyes began to bleed some nights. I had dreams of bodies surrounding me on the shoulder of the road, all with empty eyes. It was as if I were now part of that road, as if the whispering highway had marked me as the next one to disappear, without ever leaving my place. You may think this story is just the hallucination of a tired trucker, but if one day while driving through Washington state your radio crackles strangely, if you hear voices calling your name, don't stop. And for the love of God, don't look at the passenger seat.